So, students, in this lecture, I'll be discussing the rotational systems of Module 1. Okay? So, whatever are the mechanical systems? So, whatever are the mechanical systems involving fixed axis rotation which will occur in the study of machinery of many types are very important. So, whatever is the modeling procedure, it is very close to that used in translation. So, in these rotational systems, the variables of interest are torque and angular velocity, which is or angular velocity, that is which is in translational displacement. The three basic components for rotational systems are moment of inertia, torsional spring and viscous friction. Okay, so whatever in the previous lectures we have studied the rotational elements, we have seen three ideal rotational elements with their relevant properties and conventions that has already been discussed. Now we'll consider the rotational mechanical system which has been shown in this figure A. You can see figure A represents rotational mechanical system that will be considered now. It consists of a rotatable disc. It consists of a rotatable disc which has been shown here of moment of inertia J. This is moment of inertia J and a shaft of stiffness K. And a shaft of stiffness K, the disc rotates in a viscous medium with viscous friction coefficient F. Okay, so let T be the applied torque which will make the disc to rotate or which will make the disc tend to rotate. So this is the diagram that is showing the free body diagram of this particular rotational mechanical system in figure B. The torque equation, so the torque equation obtained from the free body diagram is T minus F d theta by dt minus k theta is equal to J d square theta by dt square, or we can write T is equal to J d square theta by dt square plus F d theta by dt plus kt. So this is taken as equation 2.13. Whatever is this above equation, it is a linear constant coefficient differential equation describing the dynamics of the system of this rotational system. There is one thing to be observed is that the system has two storage elements, inertia J and shaft of stiffness K. Okay, so next we'll see about gear trains. So this is related to control systems where we are using gear trains in control system to attain the mechanical matching of motor to load. To attain the mechanical matching of motor to load in control systems, we are making use of gear trains. Gear trains. Then whatever is a servo meter, this servo meter will usually operate at high speed but low torque. So to drive a load with high torque, there is a load with high torque and that has to be driven by a servo meter which operates at low speed. Then torque magnification and speed reduction is needed, which are achieved by gear trains. Okay, so to drive a load with high torque and low speed by such a motor, torque magnification and speed reduction are achieved by gear train. Thus, in mechanical systems, gear train act as matching devices where we have seen a transformer in electrical system of this category. Okay, so this figure shows a motor driving a load through a gear train which consists of two gears coupled together. Okay, two gears coupled together. So this is gear 1, this is gear 2. This is gear 2. Gear 1 is called primary gear, gear 2 is called secondary gear. Okay, and these two gears are coupled together. Okay, this is the load and this is the motor. Okay, motor. So this motor has to drive a load through this gear train. Okay, and there are two gears coupled together, represented as primary gear and secondary gear. The gear with N1 teeth, so this is N1 teeth. The gear with N1 teeth is called primary gear, whereas the gear with N2 teeth you can see here, N2 teeth is called secondary gear. So primary gear will have N1 teeth and secondary gear will have N2 teeth. Okay, then angular displacements of shafts 1 and 2 are denoted by theta 1 and theta 2 respectively. So here you can see theta 1, here you can see theta 2. So angular displacements of shafts 1 and 2 are denoted by theta 1 and theta 2 respectively. The moment of inertia and viscous friction of motor and gear 1 are denoted by J1 and F1, and those of gear 2 are denoted by J2 and F2 respectively. The moment of inertia and viscous friction of motor and gear 1 of this motor and gear 1 are denoted by J1 and F1, and those of gear 2 are denoted and load are denoted by J2 and F2 respectively. Okay, so for this all I have discussed about this. For the first shaft, the differential equation is J1 theta 1 double dot plus F1 theta 1 dot plus T1 is equal to Tm. This Tm is a torque developed by the motor and T1 is a low torque on gear 1 due to rest of the gear train. For the second shaft, J2 theta 2 double dot plus F2 theta 2 dot plus TL is equal to T2. So these two equations are taken as equation 2.14 and 2.15, where T2 is the torque transmitted to gear 2 and TL is the load torque. So Tm is torque developed by motor, T1 is load torque on gear 1 due to rest of gear system, T2 is torque transmitted to gear 2 and TL is load torque. Then here we are having two notations, R1 and R2. So let R1 represent the radius of gear 1 and R2 be that of gear 2. Then the linear distance travelled along the surface of each gear is same. As the linear distance travelled along the surface of each gear is same, theta 1 R1 is equal to theta 2 R2. The number of teeth on gear's surface being proportional to gear radius. So the number of teeth on gear surface being proportional to gear radius, we obtain theta 2 by theta 1 is equal to N1 by N2. Theta 2 by theta 1 is equal to N1 by N2. This is taken as equation 2.16. So the stiffness of the shafts of gear train is assumed to be infinite here. So whatever is the stiffness of the shafts of the gear train is assumed to be infinite. So we'll consider an ideal case where there is no loss in power transfer, then work done by gear 1 is equal to that of gear 2. Therefore T1 theta 1 is equal to theta 2 theta 2. So these two equations what I discussed just now are taken equation 2.16 and 2.17. Combining equations 2.16 and 2.17, we have T1 by T2 is equal to theta 2 by theta 1, which is equal to N1 by N2. This is taken as equation 2.18. Then differentiating theta 1 and theta 2 in equation 2.18 twice. Speed and acceleration have the following relation. Theta 2 double dot by theta 1 double dot is equal to theta 2 dot by theta 1 dot is equal to N1 by N2. This is taken as equation 2.19. If n1 by n2 is less than 1, okay, if we are having n1 by n2 less than 1, then from equation 2.18 and 2.19, so I have shown the labeling of equation 2.18 and 2.19. It is found that the gear train reduces the speed and magnifies the torque. Okay, torque. Then eliminating T1 and T2 from equations 2.14 and 2.15 with the help of equations 2.18 and 2.19, we obtain what we get is J1 theta 1 double dot plus F1 theta 1 dot plus N1 by N2 into bracket J2 theta 2 double dot plus F2 theta 2 dot plus TL is equal to Tm. This is taken as equation 2.20. Okay. Then elimination of theta 2 from equation 2.20 with the help of equation 2.19 yields what we get is J1 plus N1 by N2 whole square J2 theta 1 double dot plus F1 plus N1 by N2 whole square F2 theta 1 dot plus N1 by N2 TL is equal to Tm. This is taken as equation 2.21. So, thus the equivalent moment of inertia and viscous friction of gear train are referred to shaft 1 are J1 equivalent is equal to J1 plus N1 by N2 whole square. J2, what it? J1 equivalent is equal to J1 plus N1 by N2 whole square J2. F1 equivalent is equal to F1 plus N1 by N2 whole square F2. So, in terms of equivalent moment of inertia and friction, equation 2.21 may be written as J1 equivalent theta 1 double dot plus F1 equivalent theta 1 double dot plus N1 by N2 TL is equal to Tm. So, here N1 by N2 into TL is a load torque referred to shaft 1. Similarly, expressing theta 1 in terms of theta 2 in equation 2.20 with the help of equation 2.19, the equivalent moment of inertia and viscous friction of gear train referred to load shaft R. J2 equivalent is equal to J2 plus N2 by N1 whole square J1. F2 equivalent is equal to F2 plus N2 by N1 whole square F1. Torque equation referred to the load shaft may then be expressed as J2 equivalent theta 2 double dot plus F2 equivalent theta 2 double dot plus TL is equal to N2 by N1 Tm. So, what is observed is that inertia and friction parameters are referred from one shaft of the gear train to the other in the direct square ratio of the gear teeth. The same will hold for shaft stiffness when present. Okay. So I request all of you to go through this. In next lecture, I will continue with electrical systems and understand thoroughly these systems. In next lecture, I will take electrical systems and analogous systems. Okay, I'll stop here.